Hey guys, worried about how much AI is going to cost in the future? Let's go down the rabbit hole a little bit. So, I got an interesting comment on one of the videos that I created, mentioning, I wonder if because OpenAI is losing billions every day or whatever, because they're losing money all the time and they're in the hole billions of dollars, and it's all being supplemented by investors. I wonder if after that, after the investor money runs out, if they're going to jack up the price and if it's really going to be cheaper than a human being. I thought it was an interesting comment. And it was, the feeling there was that might have been kind of like an excuse for not using AI. And it harkens me back, I get pulled back in time to when I started in tech. So long ago, felt like long ago, I got into databases, SQL Server in particular. And in the early days of SQL Server, you had to buy licenses for the operating system and you had to buy licenses for SQL Server. It works a little bit different now, but you still have to pay a little bit. But more importantly, the bottleneck back then was cheap, reliable, super fast hard drives. Hard disk was really the bottleneck, and it was really the expensive part. And I got into working with that quite a bit. I used to build SANs, storage area networks, which were these great big cabinets full of hard drives. Because again, that was a technology bottleneck back in those days, right? Cheap, reliable data storage. I mean, now it's all SSD, but I'm not kidding. Those SAN units were expensive. They were $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, depending on the size. I actually connected SANs to each other across a county down in South Florida where I was working, where I grew up, to create a metropolitan area network of connected SANs that would sync together. It was a predecessor to the cloud. It was like a private cloud, instead of the public cloud like we're all used to today. But again, the bottleneck there was hard drives. It was hard drive space, speed, reliability, and what to do in the event that a hard drive fails, right? RAID arrays, redundant array of independent disks. Go way back in time. I get PTSD from it. Regardless, the industry figured out how to solve that problem. They went SSD, they went other technology, they backed everything up on the cloud, whatever it is, right? They have solved that bottleneck and brought the price of all of that technology down. And I think the exact same thing's going to happen with AI. So if you think about the bottleneck with AI and why OpenAI is losing the money that it's losing right now to dig their teeth into the industry, it's really because of processing power. And that's why NVIDIA's got this unbelievable stock price, and that's kind of the technology behind it. But even if OpenAI went out of business tomorrow, the gains that have been made by generative AI solutions and LLMs aren't going to be lost. There's other vendors out there. There's always going to be somebody who finds and builds that technology breakthrough. So, and there's always going to be firms out there that can figure out, okay, what's the bottleneck and how do I put in a solution that solves that bottleneck? So here's brass tacks. Here's what it really comes down to for me. I really want to encourage you in every way I possibly can to get involved with it now, early. There's all of the reasons you've already heard of, right? You've heard your competition's going to do it, early bird gets the worm, all this other stuff. It's all true, and it's moving very fast. The big thing is that I think a lot of people think, well, okay, if I wait and I'll just be able to make that big leap next year. But I don't know, and I can't, my crystal ball's broken, right? It's in the shop. I don't know that you're going to be able to make those huge jumps that easily in the future. Start making little jumps now, easier transition in the future. I think that's really where it is. And if you've got any additional thoughts or concerns, or I don't want to say excuses because it's kind of a bad word, but if you've got other ideas on why you don't want to get involved in AI and why you shouldn't invest in it, at least a portion of your time, a tiny little sliver of budget, whatever it is, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. I need pushback. If there's something that I'm missing, please let me know. But the advantages that I see to doing it now are all pluses. Talk soon, guys. Thank you.